Smash!
Hey, today we're bringing back the Sons of Medusa Army project with a very special episode. First and foremost, huge gargantuan thank you to Mr. Bones 40k for gifting me a ton of box knots at Adepticon this year. And one of these just happened to be an Ironclad. Even though I've been part of the hobby for over 10 years, there was a pretty long period in which I did not participate in Warhammer, and that just so happened to be when the Ironclad was discontinued. But in today's episode, I'll be painting one up for my Sons of Medusa army, and for the fun of it, I'm going to be painting up some old school out-of-print servitors. Also be briefly yapping about the army project itself and the future of it, and I'll be adding in my own little jibber-jabbers in between the hobbying. But before we get into all that good stuff, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, share with a friend, like the video if you're on mobile, and if you really dig it, consider becoming a channel member. This is my job, and every little bit helps. Plus, if you do become a channel member, you get access to exclusive videos, live streams, and extra roles and channels within the Mishmash Discord. Huge gargantuan thank you to my channel members, you guys are amazing. But if you want to help me even further, as well as help yourself to amazing hobby products, all of which I use in these videos, make sure to hit up my affiliate links in the description to Galeri, Strange Plastic, Wargames Atlantic, and Tabletop Stronghold, and don't be afraid to use those discount codes. I don't know why you wouldn't. But enough of the promotional stuff, let's talk some hobby nonsense. Now, like I said, I never actually owned an Ironclad, and I'm not really too happy to say in this episode I don't really have one to build for you, because, well, finding one of these brand new in a box, I'm not doing that, sorry. One thing to mention though, it is kind of shocking how quickly this model is discontinued. Yeah, 2010 was 15 years ago, and I probably made everybody who heard that feel old. But grand scheme of things, it's not that old when it comes to Warhammer. Regardless, I know why they got rid of this thing. It was too cool, just like all the other box knots. And I can only imagine the Venerable is on the way out too. And I'll actually mention too, I ended up utilizing my Tech Marine Dread as an Ironclad during my game with Mr. Bones, and the Legends rules do not keep up with modern Space Marine crap. A Hurricane Bolter is nothing in comparison to a squad of 5 Intercessors, which is just really sad. But at the end of the day, I'm not that interested in playing modern 40k. Hence why, even though I'd prefer to build this guy up and have all the different options for bits, I'm happy with the bits that I have. But it wouldn't be a Mishmash episode if I didn't complain about the new stuff. If you like the new stuff, you're a... Anyway, to begin prepping my Ironclad, I did not really strip this thing, and I probably should have, but whatever. I just ended up priming this using German Panzer Grey from Vallejo, and I would give it a nice speckling of some blighted green in place for my Caliban green, of which I used for the rest of the army. The only reason I used this over Caliban is I couldn't find my pot of Caliban green. Plus, at the end of the day, it's essentially the same paint, and blighted green just has a little bit better coverage, and it is an undertone. And this color is consistent and similar enough that I can probably get away with it. After the first sponging of the blighted green, I then began speckling on a little bit of orange oxide from Proacryl, just to give the slightest bit of an undertone of rust. This won't show up too much purely because of the way that I spray on the main color. This, of course, being bright green from Proacryl mixed 50-50 with light green from Vallejo Monocolor. I remember early on in this project I mentioned that I actually don't have any more of this paint. Yeah, I now have like 7 bottles of it, so don't worry about it. After all the spraying is done, I then begin picking out the boring elements of the armor, this being just giving a nice undertone of black to all the metallics. This is tedious, takes forever, and it's not really enthralling, but it's necessary. But after the boring parts, we immediately get to do some fun stuff again by dry brushing on all over the black using some dark silver. And honestly, with the way that I paint my army, I don't really care if a little bit of dark silver gets on the green. In fact, it's a Dreadnought, it's going to be more beat up than the rest of the army. Now, the thing that I really wanted to do to make this model stand out in particular is I really want to go with some brighter alternating colors just to make the green stand out a little bit more. And to do this, I ended up painting the rockets mounted on top of the Dreadnought, using a little bit of a kind of lighter off-white tone, more so on the warm side. This is so I can add in some very contrasting colors in the form of some bright oranges. I've kind of done this before with some of my previous episodes and some of my other models, mainly the Typhoon Landspeeder, because I usually just paint the missiles orange. I was thinking of giving them patterns, but I also like the idea of some 90s-esque spring-loaded rockets that could pop out of this thing, but we'll get to the orange when we get to the orange. Now to begin adding a little bit more flair to the model, I decided to give this guy a little bit of aged metal from True Metallic Metal series Vallejo. I said that all backwards. I'm keeping it in because it's funny. I ended up using this for some of my Stern Guard veterans, and since I like to keep a little bit of consistency with the army, and I also like making my Sons of Medusa look a little bit like each clan, I thought it would be fun just to add a little bit of gold to this guy. I really like this color in particular, mainly because it's just kind of a nice lighter version of bronze from Proracryl, one of my favorite metallic colors. Admittedly, I was pretty sparing with how I applied this. The only other areas I used this on were some of the side skulls on the arms, but ultimately I just really like how it looks just being this nice little piece of gold right in the center of the model. Once I was happy with that, I then began adding in some Magmadroth Flame to those missiles, giving them man, these look like carrots. They really do look like carrots. I'm only seeing carrots right now. They're like really fucked up carrots that you get at the bottom of the baby carrot bag. Or like two orange nipples. Like a mystifying siren. Anyway, getting a little ahead of myself. I then decided to change things up a little bit too by adding in a little bit of bright yellow in the form of some Iron Jaws yellow mixed with a little Imperial Fist yellow right on the gauntlet, and I really like how this looks. One of the pieces of box art that I saw for the Ironclad Dreadnought that always caught my eye when I first got into the hobby was the Salamander's design, mostly because the cables were actually kind of a coppery color, so I wanted to kind of emulate that with this model. Though I think more so on mine, it kinda has a charming Mystery Science Theater-esque practical effect look. Just some spray-painted PVC tubing. Once the main colors were applied to the Dreadnought, I then decided to gloss varnish the entirety of the model, and I would remove the arms in preparation for some decals. I never usually glue the arms of my Dreadnoughts purely because they fit so well and I like moving the arms around. And it's just nice for whenever I'm painting box knots in general. It just makes life so much easier. Now, like with the previous Dreadnoughts I've built on the channel, I went really heavy with the decals, and I probably should be sparing because the one Sons of Medusa decal sheet I have is from a company that no longer exists. But I still wanted to make them look cool, and I think decals look awesome on Space Marines. It went a little crazy style on the other arm too. I added in some checkers, and it didn't entirely work out at first. But this checker pattern from the Horus Heresy decals is actually perfect once I cut it to size. I really did have to make sure to fit it in place, and I did have to trim it a little bit just to make sure it wouldn't go over the edge. But I think it looks rather nice. Only difference I might have done in preparation for this is maybe painted the area white, but I still think it looks pretty dang cool. But of course, I gotta add in the regular old Sons of Medusa logo. One to the shoulder, and one to the other knee pad. I probably should have painted this one black too, just like the rest of my army. I don't know what I was trying to make with that sound there. Anyway, moving on, I then decided to rub the model using a lot of poop from the sewer. It's imperative to get the liquid feces into every nook and cranny of the model, purely because if I don't, it won't be organic enough for something, and I will not have a good model. Nah, I'm just playing. No, I ended up actually just caking the model using dark rust like I did with the rest of my army. I know this looks really aggressive, especially if you're new to the series, but I assure you, it's kind of the way that this scheme works. And also, it just makes it a lot easier to get more models done quicker, because it just adds a nice little layer of grime that really makes the green stand out more, hence why I'm going for the orangey color of rust, rather than something like a darker tone like Nuln Oil. Plus, once I use the mineral spirits, it really wipes away a lot of the excess, and only just a little bit is left in the corners. And the only time I really leave a lot is purely in areas that you're probably not going to see all too well anyway. People like to say the sentiment of Nuln Oil is talent in a bottle. Well, I'd like to give that crown to Oblivion Blackwash, actually. But enamel washes really do get your models done quicker, especially if you want to go for a tabletop standard. I'll admit I'm not painting this army to look as pretty as it can be. I know I can do better quality models than what I'm doing for the army, but I'll remind you, I'm painting an army. I only have so much time. And you know what? I like how it looks. Bleh. But once the wash was dry and I added in the highlights using the same mixture of light green and bright green from Vallejo and Pro Acryl, I decided to base the model like the rest of them. Yeah. I also had this Eldar noggin that was just sitting around, so I thought it was a good time to use it. And after a nice helping of some dark yellow ochre powder from Vallejo, this box knot is now finished. Holy shit, he looks cool. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Especially with how rough and tumble I was with painting this guy. I really didn't do a lot of the things I should have done in terms of prepping him and making him look nice, and I don't know, maybe stripping the original paint job off. But hey, results speak for themselves, and he looks really, really cool. Even though I didn't get to customize him at all, it doesn't matter because I worked within my confines, and that's kind of one of my favorite parts about being an artist. And truly, it's really nice to have this model because I always carry the sentiment that he was once my friend's model and now he's mine. And I'll probably use him to kill plenty of Arthur's Kroot. Though I did add in magnets so I can potentially give him a larger base so I can use some newer profiles, purely so he doesn't get instantaneously taken off the table within the first turn. I also added in those magnets because today's video sponsor Tabletop Stronghold. Blah. Yes sir, Tabletop Stronghold is yet again sponsoring this channel. Tabletop Stronghold now has the Meg Case 3.0, and as a current owner of the Meg Case 2.0, it's just an overall upgrade, and I'm just using my old trays for this guy. And with the upgraded magnet system to keep your trays in place, and the new Meg bag, this thing is secure enough that I'm feeling confident in bringing it on a plane for LVO next month. But if all that endorsement ain't enough for you, make sure to hit up the affiliate link in the description and the pinned comment, and make sure to use my code MASH20 for 20% off your purchase. Now that's a deal. Huge thank you to Tabletop Stronghold for sponsoring this video. Anyway, we got some B-sides here for this episode. Yeah, I decided, since this is not really a ton of content because I just painted up a model, more content. I got the old servitors. And yes, I actually do have the old metal tech marine that goes along with them, but that'll be for another future episode. I decided to bring these guys into the fold for this episode specifically purely because, I don't know, I was just in the mood to paint them. I'm really a huge fan of these models in particular because I think, in contrast to the newer versions, is for one, hand-sculpted models I think are usually just going to outcharm newer models that are built with CAD, and on top of it, these guys look a little bit more visceral and have more personality. And there's some certain assets that are just really appealing about these guys. However, don't take this as old man yells at cloud over old models. If you gave me the new ones, I wouldn't be complaining. I think they look pretty cool. And honestly, the right paint job is the best way to bring out that charm. Now, the first thing I wanted to do was give each of these guys a different color of jumpsuit. One, I would give a nice layer of Jokero orange mixed with red orange from Pro Acryl, sorta to give him a little bit of a prisoner look. The next, I would paint using a little bit of Black Templar mixed with Black Legion. This is because I like kind of the old school bluish black tones, but also using contrast colors really sped up the process for painting this guy in particular. In fact, all the metallics were painted using a little bit of black from AK Interactive, and just a touch of Black Legion just to give a little bit more fluidity to the paint itself. I also decided to paint up all the gunners using some dark red from Pro Acryl, kind of following the original designs of the box art. I just wanted to give each of these guys a little bit of a differentiating color, however, it just made more sense to make the gunners red. For funsies, I also decided to paint up the boots using a little bit of snakebite leather mixed with some black ink, purely just to get them painted. Considering I go heavy with the pigment powder, it's gonna do a lot of the heavy lifting. I just needed an undertone color for the boots. After I was happy with that, I of course started painting all the metallics using some dark silver, and I would actually mix in some copper and some other gold colors, mainly into the wiring, just to make it look like a hot burning wire that's more than likely turning this guy's brain into scrambled eggs. Well, I mean, just cooking the scrambled eggs. I'd also utilize a little bit of bronze here and there on some of the skulls, just to add in a little variation, but ultimately, sorry about that. Anyway, I also did decide to kind of give, well, my classic thing of just adding in some primary colors, mostly on the power claws. I did decide to give one of them hazard stripes, but it was a little tedious and I didn't really want to do that on camera. After I was happy with the main colors, I just kind of went over with a general wash of Oblivion Black Wash mixed with just a touch of Battle Mud Wash, just to kind of tie everything together, kind of make it look a little dirty and roughed up. And after the wash dried, I then began picking out some of the armor details using a little bit of rust colors, just to give them a little bit more variation, and I would actually highlight them using some oily steel from Vallejo. I really like this color in particular, because it's perfect for an industrial type mini like a servitor. The flesh tones were a little weird and I kind of went for more of a purplish tone too. It's not really what I wanted to do, but I might touch this up later. However, after I was happy with the metallics, I then just started picking out the main colors of each jumpsuit, and once they were highlighted up accordingly, I was left with 4 awesome looking servitors. And altogether, with the Dreadnought, these guys look amazing. I'm really happy with these guys, and I've had them for quite a while, and really, by just kind of a spur of the moment thing. And really, I'm just kind of glad I did it because, I needed a little extra stuff to beef out this episode, and I've been meaning to paint these guys for quite some time. In fact, there's a lot of things I gotta paint for my Sons of Medusa. I still haven't painted any of my hero characters besides, well, the Chaplain. But I still haven't painted Brother Janner, I haven't painted any of the hero characters in the first video, I'm kinda slacking on that. And also, I do need to paint some vehicles. I know Dreadnoughts are fucking vehicles. However, as just a little taste at the end too, I am actually working on some Space Marine Scouts that will be a members-only exclusive, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. But honestly, I've been flapping my beak enough for one video, so if you enjoyed this, like always, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, share with a friend, and remember to mishmash, kitbash, and paint some fantastic miniatures. And you're gonna. I promise. See ya.